Hi all, in this session I am going to discuss a practice question related to the calculation of growth rate in case of dividend growth model. Okay, throughout last one or two video sessions we are discussing some practice questions related to the financial management. So here I am going to discuss about calculation of growth rate using RB model. So here I have selected one of the past paper question that is to HNDA 2019 financial management question number 4 part 3. So here let's go through the question first. Chanaka PLC has issued 100,000 of ordinary shares at the rate of rupees 20 per share, and the current market price of a share is rupees 25. During this period, company earned 1.2 million, out of which rupees 400,000 has been paid as dividends for ordinary shares and rupees 200,000 has been paid as dividends for preference shares. The ROE, that means return on equity ratio, is 25%. You are required to calculate dividend growth rate using RB model. Here it has mentioned as N, or it should be B. RB model. In the paper, you have been supported by the certain equations also. He has G equals to RB, where R equals to ROE and B equals to retention ratio. Then as question B, you are required to calculate cost of an ordinary share using dividend growth model. So first of all, here we need to adopt our B model and calculate G. That is our task 1. So here in previous session which we discussed about the dividend valuation and the cost of capital, we discuss about the RB model. And here G equals to RB, where R equals to ROE and B equals to retention ratio. Simply retention ratio refers how much of earnings we retain without paying as or dividends for ordinary shares. Normally, after earnings, we have to pay, after earn some income, when it's become a company, after earn some income, first of all, we need to pay interest, expenses as a payments, then we need to pay taxes, then we need to pay preference shares for dividends for preference shares, then we have to pay for ordinary shares. The retention ratio means keeping some profits with the business, with the firm as reserves. Okay. Then here ROE value, R value we have been given as 0.25. Here what we need to do, we need to calculate B. Then the thing is how we are going to calculate B. Here B means the things which retained, the earnings which retained with the firm. So simply we can calculate that one, the retainings. Okay, earnings which we retain, that means from that earnings which we didn't pay as dividends for the ordinary shareholders. So that's the one. So what we can do, B can be calculated 1 minus dividend per share divided by earning per share. It's equal. I think you got the idea. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි B කියලා කියන්නේ අපි ඉතුරු කරගත්ත කොටස. එහෙනම් earning per share වලින් කොටසකට ඉපයුම එනවා. එතකොට dividend per share වලින් කොටසක ඉපයුම් වලින් dividends කොච්චර ගෙව්වද කියලා එනවා. එහෙනම් dividends ගෙවපු ගාන අයින් කරාම ඉතුරු වෙන කොටස තමයි retain කරපු ගාන. The thing which we retained. It's simple. So here, as you are aware, we can calculate earning per share Profit after tax minus dividend for preference shares. Here PS means preference shares. That answer we need to divide by number of shares, because we have that liability to pay dividends for preference shares as we have agreed. So here in the sum you can identify profit after tax is 1.2 million, then minus preference shares dividends also have been given as 200,000. Number of shares also has been given as 100,000. Then earning per share of this particular sum is rupees 10. Then in case of dividend shares, dividend per share, all of you are aware, you have studied this concept. We can calculate dividend per share, total dividend payments for ordinary shareholders divide by number of shares. In the sum, you can clearly identify total dividend payments for ordinary share is 400,000. That one should be divided by 100,000. That is the number of shares. Then answer is rupees 4. Now we have identified the dividend per share and we have identified the earning per share. Then now we can calculate simply the B. How to calculate B? We can adopt the equation which we discussed or which have been given. That means B equals to 1 minus B equals to what? B equals to 1 minus dividend per share divided by earning per share. Then B equals, in our sum, B equals 0.6. We calculated that step by step. First we calculate earning per share, then we calculate dividend per share, then we calculated B. So I think you got the point. Now we have identified R value and the B value. Then now we can adopt the RB model. That means G equals to RB. Simply then G equals to, we already in the sum it has been given ROE value as 0.25. Then B value is 0.6. Then G equals to 0.09. Okay, that's all for point A. Then in the point B, now we know the G value. So let's have to adapt the dividend growth model to calculate the cost of ordinary share. So already you are aware, cost of ordinary share using dividend growth model can be calculated D1 divided by P0 plus G. So here D1, we have been given how to calculate D1. We have been given here. Go through the sum, then we can identify the D0. Let's see. Ordinary Chanaka PLC issued 100,000 of ordinary shares at the rate of 20 per share and current market price is 25. That means 25 should be the P0. Then during this period, company has earned 1.2, then 400,000 now. This is the paid dividend. Make a ගෙවපු ලාභාංශ. That means last year we have paid 400,000, just paid. Okay, that means if we consider a per share dividend, that is 400,000 divided by 100,000, that is 4. ලක්ෂ 4 බෙදීම ලක්ෂය රුපියල් 4යි. So that is D0. And on D0, just paid dividend, D0, we can get the 4. That is this. Then you aware D1 in growth model, D1 we can calculate D1 equals to D0 into 1 plus G. Here D0 for 1 plus G equals to 0.09. Then P0 in the sum it has been given market value is 25. So we can use that. Then G value we already calculate 0.09. Then case, that means cost of capital, we can simply calculate by using these identified data. Then according to these calculations, cost of capital belongs to this ordinary share in Chanaka PLC is 0.26. So that's the one. It has been given 6 marks in that particular past paper. So question number A, that means calculation of G, here you can see 4 marks, and calculation of dividend growth more cost of capital using dividend growth model adapting that equation 2 marks. Okay, so that's the one. Thank you.